was the prince of Egypt. He tried to use his physical powers to do things, to liberate Israel. But he did not know that it was not supposed to be that way until he was banished. But there in the land of Midian, under Jethro, for 40 years he was mentored. When we talk about mentorship, mentorship is key. You saw one of my mentors. He was here before in the afternoon, Johnson Chukwu. That is the man that made me. I will tell you a story about mentorship. I left secondary school at the age of 15 and a half because I was born into a very terrible poor family. I was born into abject poverty. When you see poverty walking, then, if people were to give examples of poverty, they always use my family. But God blessed me with a good head and put some good gray matters in my cranium. By 15 and a half, I have already left secondary school with good grades. But I could not go to university. Whatever I tell you this evening, the truth and nothing but the truth. What people don't realize is that the world has become a global village. Whatever you say is heard all over the world. I left secondary school, but I could not enter into high institution. I left 1988. I was the last, among the last set that wrote WASC. We were the last set before the SSCE started. But I did not get admission until 1993 to go to Kaduna State Polytechnic to do National Diploma in Finance. Why? Because my parents could not pay my school fees. One of my relations told me that he was not the one that asked my father to give birth to 8 children. And it's true. And I want to advise you. Maybe your father gave birth to 10. I have only 3. Daniel, Obianoju, and Pearl. If I want to give birth to 20, I can give birth to 20. But I decided to leave that 3. If I want more, there are children in motherless babies home and I can adopt and train them. And I can tell you, as God lives, and God bears me witness, there are not less than 50 children under my scholarship. They are my children. They are not my biological children, but they are my adopted children. And I will advise you, as you grow, as you marry, you also have to be very, very responsible. The relation told me, I'm not the one that asked your father to give birth to 8. He cannot pass his burden on to us. And I will tell you the truth. One of the things God gave me grace. If you throw a stone at me, I forgive you because that is not you throwing that stone at me. It is the devil using you to throw that stone. I will use that stone as a matching stone. Let me tell you one thing I've learned. I've made up my mind right from the day I gave my life to Christ. 5th June 1999. I was actually on my way to Lagos to write an exam for somebody when I encountered him in something like this. It was a youth summit of the Christian Charismatic Movement at the Economical Center in Enugu. I left Abia State University. I was in my final year, first semester. University used to have distance education, and I was going to help somebody write the exam. The person gave me a check of 1,500, and I cashed it, I go bank check. And while I was going, a conference like this, a lady invited me, Angole Kadigwo. And I said to myself, smart boy, I will go for the program. At least they've shortened my journey. The bus will take me to Enugu. From Enugu to Lagos, it will be shorter for me. So my plan was attend the program Thursday, Friday. I will enter night bus, do the exam Saturday, Sunday back to school. I felt it was justified because my parents were poor, and that was the only one I could make money. But you see, this foolishness seems to a man to be wisdom. That evening, Friday evening, that I was about to leave to go to the park to enter night bus, the man of God, Pastor Sabinus Onibo, was preaching on a message, Vision X-ray. And what was that message? The message was about how Satan have used human beings as instrument to populate his kingdom. In our foolishness, we thought that the gift of God was to be used for some other thing else. And as the man was preaching, in that program, just like about 1,000 youths gathered from different campuses around Nigeria to Enugu. Christian Charismatic Ministries, CCM. Only 2 of us gave our life to Jesus Christ that day. and Dalint Nechebrim. Out of 1,000 people, as the man was speaking, as the man was preaching, I wasn't sleeping. I was awake. I heard a voice, and I saw the cloud open. And I heard a voice. You can't go on that journey. You have to serve me. I died on the cross for you. You have to serve me. You cannot go. And I started crying. I wept like a brand new, I was weeping. I laid on the floor. I said, God, if you have mercy on me. Lord, you know why I am like this. I am poor, I am wretched. He said, I will take care of you. I said, if you take care of me, I will not go on this journey. And the guy who gave me that money was a very dangerous court boy. How will I go back to school and tell him, I have swallowed your money? So it's almost a death warrant. But I made up my mind, I will not go. That evening, packed my bag, went back to school. The person I met, the first person I met when I was coming was his friend. And he was so happy. I know you have smashed. I said, I didn't smash anything. I've picked the Bible. Interestingly, the guy saw me on Monday. When he met me, I was expecting maybe by the next week I will get a hit. The guy told me, what happened? I said, I didn't go again. He said, what happened? I said, I'm born again. He said, born again? I said, yes. I said, where is my money? I said, I will give it back to you. I've already spent it. He started laughing. You know, this mythical, this laugh, wicked laugh. I said, I don't enter. And when he finished laughing, he said, young man, I'm happy for you. Go. Everything is settled. You know you're a gifted boy. I said, yes. He said, go. And I walked away. Now, I was in my final year. You know why I'm taking time to say these things? You saw what we are trying to discuss. Are the characters of a man that can shape him. While I was in university, of course, I'm still a smart guy, so I can't use words. Very smart. Ahead of my class. Of course, I did national diploma before coming to do my degree in 1993. I was way ahead of my class, naturally and by gift. I was known as a Mecca banking. I was so popular in school, I will tell you, if you get to the gate of the school, you don't know where to find me. If you see a goat that is grazing, and if the goat can talk, ask the goat, where is a Mecca banking? I was that popular. But it was foolish popularity. Of course, smart guy. And I came back to school. Of course, I was comfortably making my results and everything. But I will tell you something. When I got to school, the next question was, how are you going to survive? My father was a gatesman in the university. A gatesman whose salary could not pay my school fees. And of course, I wasn't the only one. He had other 7 other ones to take care of. But I trusted God. Of course, God raised people who helped me. And I will tell you something that will shock you. That final semester, I worked with the Lord. I made the highest cumulative grade points average. I was making comfortable 4-pointer, but this particular one, I smashed a 4.7 GPA. Of course, I left university, graduated. Now, let me tell you something that will shock you. Like I said, if you look at the life of the biblical characters, we talked about character. What is a character? Character has to do with traits that are often labeled with descriptive adjectives, such as patient, such as unfaithful, such as honest or dishonesty. My mentor told us a story here about somebody that wanted him to give him money to start with 5 cars, right? My mentor also told us a story that if you are in a place, you have a business idea, and you have good testimony, people will fund it. I am not going to come here and tell you good stories. I will tell you the good things and I will tell you the terrible things that happened. Let me tell you, people know you for who you are. I tell everybody who cares to listen, those who can tell about you are not those people you come to church on Sunday and you dress well and you look psychedelic. Those who will tell about you in truth and in spirit and who you really are your parents, your close friends, your spouse, your children, your domestic staff, and those you work closely with. You can deceive every other person, but you cannot deceive these people. And most importantly, you can tell yourself who you are. I will share something with us. There is nobody that is created on earth that God did not give a value to add to this world. Go and check. Even when you see twins, quadruplets, centuplets, whatever, triplets, they do not have the same fingerprints. There is no single double persons here on earth. There are no two persons. You can share the same genotype, AA. Like in my family is AA, genotype 0. You can share everything, but you cannot share fingerprint or iris with another person. As God has given us singular identities, so also God has given us special and unique gifts. Each and every one of us have been empowered by creation to add value to planet Earth. When you do not manifest the powers and the giftings of God upon your life, God cannot be wrong. When things are not working for you, when things are not working your way, I can tell you, go back and look at yourself. 1 million principalities, 20 million demons, 1,000 killers cannot destroy your destiny. Even God himself cannot stop you if you don't stop yourself. Because God has already empowered you to go and have dominion. Bible talked about Nimrod and his people. They gathered together to build a tower that will go to heaven. And these guys were not believers. They were building. And God said, these guys, they have one mind. If we allow them to continue, they will get to heaven. There is nothing you set your mind to do that you cannot achieve. Only you that can stop yourself. I tell you from experience. In all these things, I made up my mind. As a little boy, there is nothing, one of the policies, there is nothing anybody can do to me that I will not forgive. There is nothing anybody that can do to me. I will take offense temporarily, but when I look back, it always acts for good. Joseph was a 17-year-old boy. I'm going to take from him. We all know the story of Joseph. Joseph, the second to the last born of Jacob. Joseph, the elder brother of Benjamin. Bible records that he was a very goodly boy. He will come to his father and he will tell his father about his brothers and what they are doing right and what they are not doing right. And they hated him. Bible said that one night he had a dream. You must have a dream. In this life, you must have a dream. You must have a vision. Nobody can dream for you. Your father cannot dream for you. Your mother cannot dream for you. Your mentor cannot dream for you. You must have a dream that somebody will guide. He had a dream. And he told his brothers and the mother and the father that he saw the sun and the moon and the other stars bowing before him. And they hated him. To stop that dream from happening, they decided to destroy him. One of the things that kept Joseph was he had character. He had good attitude. He understood that everything comes from God. He had good values. He also took time to equip himself to understand the God of his fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Let me tell you, the ways of God are very simple to identify and know if you are very sincere to yourself. And Bible said they conspired to destroy him. When they wanted to kill him, and Reuben prevailed upon them not to kill him, and they threw him into a dry pit. And while Reuben was far gone, they took the guy and sold him to the Ishmaelites. 17-year-old boy. Most of you are more than 17 years. He left his father. He left his mother. He was sold into slavery. They wished to destroy his destiny. In their mind, this dreamer is gone. For 13 years, first of all, he went to the house of Potiphar. And that is where character comes in. I can tell you, you make up your mind. There is something I tell anybody who cares to listen. Somebody asked me, the way you write, the way you talk, one day they will kill you. I will tell you this. I won't mention the name of the bank. I worked in a bank where they asked me to go and do a forensics. Then I had that time was my only son. My only son, still the only son I have. He was about a year and 3 months then. And we admitted, 2 years and 3 months. And we admitted him at Green Spring Schools into the nursery school. And the bank sent me to go and do forensics. Of course, the child took almost about 2 years to come. I got married May 27th, 2006. But the child came August 25th, 2008. You know, it took time to come. So, and I was sent to do the assignment. Of course, when I do my assignment, I do it uncompromisingly. There are people you cannot bribe. There are people you cannot settle. I learned it from my father. I told you, when I left secondary school, I went to teach at the age of 15 and a half because nobody could train me further. While I was in the school, let me tell you, I was teaching in a secondary school 18 kilometers from my village. I am from Amagu Ihube Okigwe, and I was teaching at Unique Secretariat College, Nkwagu Isoch. I was away. My father was not there, my mother was not there, and a 16-year-old boy was away, alone on his own. And there, if you know Isoch girls, very tall, very beautiful. And I had 403 of them that I'm teaching. Of course, you know the story of my father. If you pass your WAEC, you go further. If you fail your WAEC, no GCE, you go and do something. And then as a young boy, I was blooming, adolescence. All ideas was coming to my head. I wasn't born again. But one thing I knew, my father loved me. That is why I say to people, if you know the love of God for your life, you will not walk into error knowingly. I wasn't born again. My father wasn't born again. But I knew as a boy, my father never flogged me like my siblings. When my father wants to talk to me, he will call me and we'll talk. My mother will be the one I will be shouting like a mother hen. My mother will be like what I will do. My father never did that with me. My mother will be the one I will be shouting. These girls, if you impregnate them, blah, blah, blah. My father never had time for that. My father will call me 4 a.m. My father will talk to me. Why I will not stop my destiny. And my father is one man, if he promises you, he will deliver. If he gives you his word, nothing will change it. One morning, of course, those girls, some of them will travel from his church, they will come to me. My father called me one morning, sat me down. He said, young man, my father. I said, yes, sir. He said, look me into the eyes. I said, sir, 4 a.m. with lantern. He said, let me tell you, you have a destiny. I have seen it. I know, girls are good, sweet girls. You know, I don't want to pretend. At your age, I did what you are trying to do. But can I promise you something? You know, I gave birth to 8 of you. You are very sharp. Oh. Once you do it, she will get pregnant. And I can tell you, if she gets pregnant, you won't go to university. I will marry her for you. And both of you will stay. And I will give you a land where you go and farm. The thought of stopping my education was the check I had. So when they will come, 5 girls, and the urge will come. And I will remember that his booming voice, you will stay in the farm. And the urge will go. That was how I stayed 16 months without messing up. Because I knew the promises of the man who gave birth to me. How much more God? Bible says, if your father who is wicked, if your father who is evil, can give you bread when you ask for bread instead of stone, can give you meat when you ask for meat instead of snake, can give you fish when you ask for fish instead of scorpion, how much more your father in heaven? Joseph understood this principle. That was why when Potiphar's wife came, the guy said, no. Madam, I like you. You're fine. Good. But if I do this now, I will become an acting houseboy for the rest of my life. I had a dream, my father and mother bowing. I don't think they'll come and buy for acting husband. Of course, he was thrown into prison. While he was there at the prison, you know, I hear people say, nobody wants to help me. Nobody. I have an uncle. My uncle refused to help me. I have a sister. My sister refused to help me. I have my mother. My mother refused to help me. Let me tell you. Growing up, there was something I told my younger brothers. I told them, I said, as a boy of 14, they could not understand why I do not keep malice. They could not understand why I'm not bitter towards my uncles. They could not understand why I see everybody, I smile and rejoice. They could not understand why, when everybody is complaining, I am telling them it is well. I wasn't born again then. But I knew one thing. I told them that my name is Chief Onyeme Mete Yametonwe. Simple. If I don't help you, help yourself. I will tell you this. I will give you an example because one, when you keep your trust in man, when you put your hopes in man, Bible says, woe unto him who put his trust in man. There is no man God has called that God has not equipped. Joseph, while he was in prison, 2 young men came into the prison. People that were in king's courts, the butler and the baker. Of course, God gave him the gift of understanding dreams and interpretation of dreams. Each and every one of us have gifts. You have talents. But can I tell you something? CR7 Ronaldo says, talent is not everything. Hard work owns the talent. How many of us know about David Beckham? David Beckham is not one of the most gifted footballers in terms of talent. When you call talented footballers, David Beckham cannot be counted. But if there's any man that started teaching us how to play free kick, it's David Beckham. They say it is bend it like Beckham. And what was it? When they finished the normal training, while others are busy showering, he is practicing how to bend the free kick. For the young men who understand football, in terms of skill, you cannot compare Lionel Messi with Ronaldo. Lionel Messi beats him hand down. But in terms of accomplishment, Ronaldo can match him toe to toe. Why? Ronaldo decided, I may not have the flares of this young man, but I'm going to work hard. I'm going to improve on my ethics. I'm going to hone my skills. And I'm going to improve on my characteristics as a footballer, and I will get there. Today, they are the 2 living footballers who are head and shoulders above every other legend in the football game. Joseph understood these skills. Something happened to me 3 years ago that opened my eyes to this issue of your skills making ways for you. Now, what happened? While Joseph was in the prison, they had dreams and interpreted those dreams accurately. And he told the one that will be spared, when you get out there, remember me. The guy went out there and did what? And forgot about him. Trusting in man is foolishness. But you know one thing about God? I always tell people, I said, when you prepare, your opportunities will locate you. Of course, a time came when the king had his dream. And they were looking for interpreters of dreams. And nobody could interpret that dream. That was when that butler remembered. Oh, there was this young man. I remembered him. And they brought him. He interpreted that dream. And what happened? He was transported. He was transmuted. He was translated from the position of a prisoner to the rank of the prime minister of Egypt. Then, the America of the world then. What happened? His attitude, his character, his skills. How much more David? The one thing that terrifies me about this generation, I told one of my siblings, one thing I know about God is that God will take you to wherever your eyes can take you to. I don't mean your physical eyes, your mind's eyes. I told one of my siblings who went to the UK to learn. Remember, my parents did not train the first and second before me. But I ensured that those after me went to school. 2 of them, I sent them abroad to go and school, to go and get a degree. The last one is doing his PhD in Cyprus. I told him, when he met 2-1, Stoke-on-Trent University, UK, I was at this guy, I was angry with him. I said, why didn't you make first class? He said, brother, I said, there's no excuse. I said, while I was going to school, I said, you lived in a condo where I was paying £1,000 every month. I said, I put you in the best universities. He got there the same year with Abdulsalam Abakar's son. And I said, I expected you. Let me tell you, most of you have this phone. If our generation had this opportunity, I would have made 5.0 over 5.0. I would have made first class 5 over 5. But some of you have this phone. You are watching Bobrisky. You know everything about Bobrisky's hairstyle. All you do, you see this phone I'm carrying. This phone is a workshop. You see this phone? This phone I'm carrying, S9 Samsung. This phone contains every resources you need to be whoever God has given you to be. Knowledge is knowledge comes by understanding. Understanding comes by studying. I told us here that I studied 3 hours. That 3 hours is minimum every day. When I say 3 hours, it doesn't mean that the 3 hours. I studied 3 hours minimum. Sometimes my wife will look at me and she will shake her head. He said, what are you doing again? There is nothing you have not gotten. I say, baby, knowledge evolves every second. 3 hours minimum. I am not exaggerating. Ask people that know me. I am multiversatile. When I write, people ask me, how do you know this? I took up my first job. I was a great assistant nominee at ABSU. Why I left? They could not confirm me. I hate injustice, and I know how to fight it. I was there, they could not confirm my nomination. I did beg them to come back. It was the former dean that invited me, Professor Igwa Jawachuku, who is late now, who was the former Minister of Education, that told me, young man, we want you to come back and lecture. You're a good teacher. Students talk about you. And after my youth service, I went back to school. To confirm my nomination, they were playing politics, Imo Abia. And while I was there, they confirmed somebody. I scored 4.36 out of 5. The person scored 3.57. They confirmed him while my own was pending. I said, what the rubbish? I said, I'm going. I prayed, no job. I walked away. My father was angry. My father was this one, but he was a good man. He saw the lecturership job as the only way I could survive. How much was salary? 28,000. I said, it will not work. Of course, I prayed. And I heard the word, go. And I left. But one thing I can tell you, when I took that job, whatever I say to you is the truth and not the truth. 25,000 naira from 28,000 that was not paid. Most of my classmates who made 2-2, who struggled to even graduate, had jobs in commercial banks where they were paying them 120K. I met one. And he asked me, what are you doing in this investment bank? I said, I want to learn. He said, Emeka, I know if you bring your CV, they will employ you in STB because you're that good. He said, Emeka, there is no aptitude test you cannot pass. We know you're that good. Why not come and write test? I said, I don't want to do commercial banking. I don't want to do Babiala banking. I want to do investment banking. I learned under Sir Kingsley Ikpe. He was the first icon merchant bank GM from Nigeria. Harvard trained. This man took me like a son and mentored me. And I will tell you, if I had joined the commercial bank as an entry level, the person that will be my boss may be a banking officer or an SBO or an AM. Their knowledge is limited. This was a man who was the former GM in the foremost merchant bank in Nigeria. A man that was trained at Harvard. And this man took me as a mentor. And what did I do? I went into his system. He allowed me to read whatever I want to read. I used my disk. I said, can I copy? He said, copy. I copied 25 years work. And I started soaking myself in knowledge. I started studying. I started preparing myself for the day of opportunity. I woke up one morning. I heard a voice in my spirit. In the day of my salvation, I will help you. In the time of favor, I will hear you. Start writing application to. Let me tell you, no employer of labor will give you a job because you want to put food on your table. You must add value. While I was with Sir Ikpe, I discovered, I took out time. Like I said, I'm a very good investment banker. I know my numbers. When I structure things, let me tell you, some of the best and biggest also in the market have my imprint. I am that good. But do you know one thing? This man taught me. Those things were things he did when I was still in primary school. And I was studying them. And it struck me that most commercial banks that had bigger balance sheets We are not as profitable as IBTC then, a merchant bank. And IBTC had less than 100 staff. These banks had 1,000 staffs, and they were not making profit. They were busy wasting their time. And I heard in my spirit, send proposals to these banks, what you would do for them. 3 pages, I wrote those proposals. And I took it to Marina Post Office. I didn't know anybody in those banks. Not a friend, not a mother, not a father, not their MDs. The only thing I knew was I have value to add based on what I've discovered. A gap. Justin Chuku, my mentor, the Justin that left here in the afternoon, told us a story. And he said, in every system, once you see a gap, fill that gap and you make money. I told us here yesterday that problems, I love problems. When you see problems, you have seen money. What do you need to do? You provide solution. How did Uber and Taxify come about? We have Taxify in a way now, right? Before, if you want to go from here to Amakoya, you will meet one dirty yellow taxi man. The man will tell you, boss Imo, those rickety bosses. The guy will tell you 2,000, 3,000, 1,000. By the time you get to prison, the motor will break down and your money is gone. But somebody came up with an idea to do Taxify. And what was Taxify or Uber? To do an app that will bring buyers of transport and sellers of transport, and it will make it spread. Today, you don't need to argue with anybody. If I want Taxify now, I will pick my phone, go to the app, download it, call Taxify. The car comes, I will enter. When he gets to the station, I know how much I'm supposed to pay. He knows how much I'm supposed to pay. No argument. But somebody identified that there's a solution to be made. And the world is going digital. The world is a world that will be driven by artificial intelligence. You guys are a blessed generation. You have no reason to not manifest your greatest impact here on earth. I tell you, any 21-year-old person, any person who is 21 years old, who cannot make 50,000 naira every month is underperforming. Do you know why? I know a mechanic, Abugo. This guy cannot write his name. One day, he doesn't walk my cars again because he used to walk my car. When I started life, I used to have this car, Mitsubishi Sigma. That car was so problematic that the guy knows that he would be at my office every morning to wait for me to make money. So after 5 years, when I bought my first brand new car, the guy never saw me again. One day he called me, how do you hear your brake light again now? I said, I don't migrate. I don't upgrade. I said, the kind of cars I drive now, you cannot fix it. But because the guy was good, and he's still very good, I called him and said, okay, Abugu, you need to upgrade. One of the problems you have with your mechanic's job is that you don't have equipment that you can use to detect problems in a car. You know, mechanic, when they drive it, oh, it's noise, it may be hub. Some of us are like that. I now have to help him to raise money to buy diagnostic kits that can enable him find out. But the guy told me something that shocked me. The guy said, Oga, there is no day that closes that I don't go home with at least 10,000 naira. And that simply means, if you calculate it for 21 days, the guy is making almost 220 naira every month. Time will not permit me to go. But like I will tell you, I wrote those proposals to 10 commercial banks and 10 investment banks. That was how I met Johnson. His bank got that proposal. The MD, Mike Chuku, I never met him from anywhere. I know he saw that proposal I sent to them. 3-pager. And he was impressed. And he sent it to Johnson. Now I will tell you where Johnson came into my life and how he impacted me. That proposal was sent to him and he called me for an informal chat. I met Johnson January 10, 2004. I spoke with him for 5 minutes only. He said, go back and come back for formal interview. When I got there for formal interview, there were 5 of them in that panel. He was not even the most senior in that interview. He was an HGM then. There was a DGM who was in the panel. 2 persons from the HR. And 1 other person who was an assistant manager. 3 of them said they will not take me. Why? They said this guy is smart, but he did not dress well. Why did I not dress well? My salary was 25,000. Out of that 25,000, I must send money back home to my parents. So where will I get money to buy clothes? I used to go to Mandilas to go and pick okrika. I can't even take it to tell her. I will use my hand to sew it. So they looked at me. I was not dressing so fine. And they said they will not take me. Johnson said, I will take this boy. He's going to work with me. Johnson left them and went to see the MD. And the MD was not around. He saw the ED. He said, this boy must work with us. And they said, but he didn't dress well. He said yes because he didn't have money. This boy I see, if he makes money, they are paying him 25,000 naira. Only 25. But what we are going to pay him is 120. If this guy earns the money, he will change his wardrobe. You know what they told him? I was not there. They were betting on my life. They said, if after 3 months he does not change, we will sack him. He said, if after 3 months he does not change, I will help people fire him. First month came and I made my money. And I went and bought 3 new suits. I came to office the next month and they said, this boy have changed. And I will tell you, I deliver so much value that on the 5th month, before the 6th month of probation period, they confirmed me and promoted me. And can I tell you something that will shock you? Now listen, one of the ladies who was an assistant manager, who said that I should not be employed, 4 years later, yes, 5 years later, 2009, as a full manager, I interviewed her to employ her as a deputy manager. Because the knowledge I acquired while under Saipe was so rich that as I was entering into this bank, I was already moving. I left university. Remember, I left secondary school, 15 and a half. I got admitted into Polytechnic, 1993. Got into ABSU, 1997, 96 as a data entry student. I left university, 1999. By then, I was 27 years old. By the time I got my first job in the bank, they said I was about 30, 31. They said they cannot take me as entry-level students. Because the bank was 26 years entry. But I can tell you, from the age of 31, by the time I got to 38, I was already an executive director in an investment banking firm. I want to encourage you. Attitude is everything. And I will tell you one thing about me, and one thing about Jacob, and one thing about Joseph, and one thing about David. Why David? Do you remember that when they came to anoint a king in Jesse's house, he did not remember David? Are you aware that when Samuel told him to call his sons, he did not remember David? How can a father forget his son? That was how hated and insignificant that the guy was. But while he was at the backside taking care of his father's sheep, he did not mind the fact that they did not like him. He was honing his skills. He was learning to use his catapult very, very well. The lion came. Some of us will have said, carry one sheep now. After all, they don't like me. But the guy said, I will never allow my father to suffer loss. He slaughtered that lion. The bear came. The guy did not say, they hate me. He slaughtered the bear. And when it was time to slaughter the main man that would take him to his glory, Goliath, he came to the war field and he was asking his brothers, what can be done? And they abused him. Most people have ridiculed you. The guy came as a spectator and left as the captain of the army of Israel. I want to encourage you this evening. Finally, before I go, I want to play something. My wife is a medical doctor. She has 3 clinics, but she's a gifted singer. She's launching her album 2nd week of December. But she did something that shocked me. And I'll tell you what, some people don't know that their skill can find them out. One day she was surfing through the net and she saw a skit by one girl, beautiful skit, a rapper. And many people were busy saying they want to manage her, they want to do this thing. She go back home. She said, baby, that was she called me. I said, yes. He said, I saw this girl and I saw this kid. I want you to pick her up and sponsor her and be her manager. I have seen all these artists chasing her around. They will destroy this girl and they will not mess up her career. I want us to help this girl. And apart from that girl, somebody, I think maybe her friend told her a story. See, listen to this. So I'm sure somebody told this lady. And she sent this thing to me. Very beautiful song. I said to my wife, let me tell you. What did the girl do? The girl understood the power of phone, the power of Facebook, the power of Instagram. Instagram is not for her to dress naked and post. She did her skit, downloaded it and shared it. My wife saw it and saw that this girl naturally talented. And now a helper has come. Ask yourself this question. What has God put in me as a person? What are the things I do that motivates me? J.J. Okocha said after he signed for PSG for $14 million, he said, even if they don't pay me, I will pay to play football because it gives me joy. May God help us to identify our giftings. But I can tell you of a truth. Look at the life of Jacob, life of Joseph, life of David. One thing that stood them out, they lived lives of integrity, lives of character. They served loyally, and they never compromised. One thing I can tell you, how you do another man's job will determine how you do your own. Some of us, we cut corners, we cheat, we do all manner of things. I can tell you, those who know their God, they shall be strong and they shall do exploits. And I can tell you, I have not even started. I told us here that we are going to, out of the 9,750 sustainable agropreneurs that we are going to set up in Nigeria over the next 4 years, that 1,000 of them will come from you. I gave you that link. I say it for the whole world to hear. This is being broadcasted live. One of your church members, Lem Chichidi, most of them are part of what we are trying to do. We woke up one morning and we say to ourselves, if we allow these youths to depend on government, they will die. Nigeria is home to 95 million extreme poor people. Nigeria is home to 44 million underemployed and unemployed people. Nigeria is home to 176 million people who cannot make up to 60 million naira, 60,000 naira in a month. But Nigeria is blessed, especially the Southeast and Imo State, with some of the most perfect and capable human capacity, human manpower. And I can tell you, as God lives, our work as mentors, our work as those who have passed through that rough path. And one thing I say to everybody, because I suffered, those after me will not suffer. Because you suffered, those after you will not suffer. God has called us to make the world a better place. After this program, we are going to be contacting these organizers to ensure what we are trying to do is a unique thing. The church in Nigeria have not yet utilized its powers. The program we are running is what we call missions, community, private, public partnership. Our plan over the next 3 years is to raise $185 million and invest in agro-value chains into 15 lines, both from the digital side to the farm side to the processing side, that will create entrepreneurs, not employees. You are one of them in Jesus' name.
Can we appreciate God for Dr. Nemeka? Please, do you have any question for him? Anybody with a question for him? Anybody with a question for him? No question. Or even if for Mr. Ifani, because tonight is the last. Pastor, can you come, please? Tonight is the night. Can you get some mics? From now, you might not see them again. Any question for them? Yes. Can I get some mics, please? Yes, ask your question. Yes.
Thank you very much. I just want to know how, okay, I'm addressing the question to the last speaker. Okay, I just want to know how the program, the agro program is going to kickstart and how the youth are going to get involved. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, are you aware that Nigerian borders has been closed? Why was it closed? Huh? Rice importation good. Every year in this country, we import almost about $5 to $6 billion worth of rice. Palm oil will spend almost about $1 billion, $50 million importing palm oil. Of course, you know in Nigeria, 1964, 65, we used to control 45% of the global palm oil market. That market is an $88 billion market. The palm kernel oil is about $11 billion. Now, what do we want to do? Very simple. We discovered that what we do in Nigeria is farming, not agriculture. And it's very simple. You know, sometimes when you wait for government, you are missing it. What we now did was in 2016, Johnson Chukwu, my mentor, is part of the group. In fact, he's our Ogakwatakata in what we are doing. We got 5,000 acres of land. What do we want to do? We want to do 1,000 acres rice farm. We want to do pig and pork. China consumes $165 billion worth of pork meat. Even the Chinese in the West Coast takes almost about $300 million worth of pork. And we have it in excess in Nigeria. So how the use will come? We set up a digital platform known as Self-App. Southeast Farms is dedicated for Southeast. How the use will come? You will go and register in the platform in your area of interest. Be it poultry, be it rice farming, be it palm value chain, be it pork and piggery. We have an off-taker that is willing to take about 60,000 tons of pork every year. So we have a market for it. So what we are trying to do now, we are going to, for the rice farm, we are dedicating 1,000 acres. For every youth that indicated interest, we'll give them 4 acres. We'll give you the money. You don't need to, you're not bringing any money. We're going to pay you allowances every month to manage that farm. We'll train you. You're the anchor. Open accounts for you. We will buy everything you produce because we're setting up a mill there. 24 tons per day rice milling factory. And of course, where we have our location is by the riverside, so we can do 3 times in a year. You yourself can do 3 times. So you register. We will train you. Your job is man that 4 acres. Make sure that the rice is well taken care of. We agree on the pricing. When we harvest it, we take away the cost, which you yourself will know, because you'll be the one that will administer it. The profit, you take 60%. The company takes 40%. You take 50, the company takes 40%. And the community will set aside 10% for their CSR. For those that want to do pig and pork, the same thing. We set up a cluster of 1,000 pigs, 20 each. Each of them will take about 787 million to do. We will raise the money. Your own is cluster of 20, 18 sowers, 2 bowers. Take care of them. Every 6 months, those Chinese partners take them when they are 3 months old. We take out the cost. Of course, you have your allowance. The same profit sharing. You take home 50%. The company takes 40%. I will give 10% to the community for their CSR. We have run the numbers. On the 18th month, those who run the pork and piggery and those in that farm, what they walk home with, apart from the allowances, every year is about 1.6 million. So you're a millionaire.
If you have a question, just raise your hand.
Good evening, sir. So please, I want to ask in the area of character and integrity. What can someone do who has compromised in his character and integrity? Is there something he could do to make up? Secondly, on how to pitch on a business, you didn't say much on that, sir.
How to?
Pitch on a business. You said something like that in your
I
topic.
gave you an example now how to pitch on a business. A girl, a very good rapper, did a skit and loaded it on Facebook and Instagram. And people kept sharing it until somebody identified him and said, this person is good. Take her up, manage her. That is pitching. She didn't use her phone to do. She used her phone to rap, do a 2-minute skit, and loaded it. Now let me tell you something. When you have an idea, especially IT related, or whatever, you don't wait for people. I gave you an example of what I did. I was a young research analyst, earning 25,000 naira a month. And I was studying on how to be the best investment banker anybody can be. And while I was studying, I started to do the balance sheet analysis of banks. And I discovered a gap that needed to be filled. I didn't know anybody in those banks. I woke up and wrote those application letters to them. If you employ me, I will do this for you. In fact, in one of those banks that employed me as their project finance manager, the MD asked me, why will I employ you? I said, you are employing 3 things. You are employing skill. You are employing security. You are employing safety. I said, you are employing skill because you are employing one of the best investment bankers in this land. You are employing security because I will not steal your money. You are employing safety because as long as I'm here, this bank will not go down. And can I tell you something? You talked about integrity. Let me tell you, we talk about angel funding. There is no way on earth that you are an honest person. You are hardworking. You are very diligent. That those around you, either in your house or in your church, will not find a way of helping you. I'll give you an example. I have a domestic staff. We employed her from around the Zog. My wife employed her, and we're paying her 40K every month. But we discovered that this girl is very good in doing Zobo and this local thing. And I live in Banana Island, where people come to work every day, new houses. You will see laborers, and there's no kiosk where they can buy food. So one day my wife asked her, since you're good at this thing, what do you think you can do? Because when we leave the house in the morning, the children goes to school. She sleeps away till 3 o'clock when they come back. So between the hours of 7:30 to 3 o'clock, when you just do nothing but sleep, because she's not the cleaner, she's just the domestic staff, what do you do? That was how this girl woke up one morning. We had a deep freezer in the basement. She started doing Zobo. Early in the morning while we have gone, she will carry that Zobo and other drinks like this thing. I'll go to those work sites to go and distribute it. Do you know how much she makes in a month? 90,000 naira extra. And now because she has become so good and they know her, my wife is now telling her, I'm going to get you a shop by that Banana Island Road so you can do this thing formally. And she has already gotten somebody to replace her. That is mentorship. She showed skill. She's a very honest girl. She's a girl who lives in our bedroom. She has not looked for her gold. She has not looked for her silver. I keep my monies in my clothes, in my house, in my room. She enters everywhere. I have not lost money. When you have such person, you help. People know your integrity will help you. I say it before the whole world. I have worked in more than 7 finance. I tell you, every couple I have made in this life, if you call me up, I will tell you how it came. I am not a saint, but I know one thing, that he that will go far in life. I gave us example, and I'm not lying. Before the global world, the first businesses we started, I was far away at Harvard University, 2010, when some people betted $5 million on us. The guys did not say, this guy will take off and not come back. These are people that knew me over 10 years. I knew that this guy has skills and integrity. You are gifted. Why do you think banks will give you money in Nigeria? They will ask for your mother and father. AMCON has 5 trillion naira under management. 5 trillion naira bad debt. Nigerians are one of the most terrible people to give money. If you give money out of 8, 6 will not return it. That is the truth. You know, when we say government, they are corrupt. What we see in Nigeria is a microcosm of what a 75% of us are. These people represent a majority of us. Pastor Enoch Adeboye said something very instructive. He said, if there are 4 people who are living in a house, 3 are armed robbers, and 1 is not an armed robber, what will the person do? He will either leave or they will kill him. But if there are 4 in the room, and 3 are honest men, and 1 is an armed robber, that armed robber, they either change him or they will kill him. 75% of us, and even more than that, do not have integrity. Show integrity, people will bet on you.
Thank you, sir. If you have any question for Dr. Ifeanyi Onyemere, just raise your hand. On organizational performance.
Yeah.
Do you have a question for Dr. Ifeanyi Onyemere?
Good evening, sir. Yeah, I have a question for Dr. Ifeanyi.
Oh.
Yeah, God bless you. Ikedichi is my name. My question is for partnership with Dr. Ihanyi's organization. I'm a member of I have a link with the National Project Coordinator, Youth for Agriculture, and we've been pursuing this vision since 2016. There's no going saying the fact that agriculture remains the only way out for our youths in Nigeria, especially in Imo State. Thank you. So I'm saying, if his organization is open for partnership with our organization, our NGO, I would like to, have his contact, and we can talk business. Thank you so much. Yes.
Was the question for me? Or for him? Okay, not for you. Do you have any question for him? Okay.
Good evening, Doc.
Good evening.
My name is Williams Opara. Okay, sir, I have a very simple question here. Sometime in 2014, when I just left school.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We've taken all the questions we can take for tonight.
All right.
Praise the Lord. Can we appreciate the facilitators for this night? Thank you so much. Please, Chooks, just worship.
We are one great mighty nation, just that. If Chindi is around, let him come and help. Good evening. I love that song. They created it for our nation. I don't know if you're ready, because we can do that without him. Whichever way you like to pose like doing a national anthem when you're doing a national anthem. Some people love it like this. Some people like it like this. Some people whichever way. We are one great mighty nation of the people of the earth. May we live and die in service to humanity. On this day, let's raise our banner as we follow truth and love in this land forever. Bless God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigeria, my home, sweet home. God bless Nigeria, my home, sweet home. Let's sing it one more time. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigeria, my home, sweet home. God bless Nigeria, my home, sweet home. Give him praise, y'all. Give him praise. Hallelujah. Please at least greet somebody that is around you. I don't know if you have done that this evening. Tell them you're welcome. And this is the concluding session of the National Youth Summit. You may be seated. One more time, I want to thank all our team. Came from different places, Lagos, Abuja, everywhere, to come and bring all of these different levels of capacity building to our people here in Owerri. Owerri is my second home. My wife was trained here. It's Federal Owerri. All her family, they're all here. So, and there's something special about this place. I want to thank all our leaders. I want to especially thank Pastor Nob. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. And of course, the one and only Pastor Shola. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you. And of course, I've not seen her, but I know she's somewhere working. The executive director of the Golden Heart Foundation, Sorochi. God bless you wherever you are. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I want to thank all the facilitators. If I start now, but thank you, Dr. Ifeanyi. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just came to greet you. So I can go now. Eh? All the things you'll be receiving since Wednesday. I want to thank our guy of the Fresh Foundation, Ambassador Uche. Ambassador, give him a big ball of blessing. We all started with this project. Now he has taken the whole thing to international, holding all kinds of things around in US, in Europe, everywhere, touching world leaders, I think this year we held the first, was it Global Summit in US and UK and all of that. I'm so grateful. Thank you, sir. And one of our youngest ambassadors, and he's leading a major movement in the entertainment industry, Ambassador Williams. I honor you, sir. I thank you and thank you. I'm looking, trying to make sure I recognize everybody there. If I don't mention, you know that I'm not seeing the face very well, but it's all right. Glory be. Have you noticed that everywhere you see me in program, I just go unintroduced? Have you noticed? When last did you see me? Let us welcome Pastor, Ambassador, Pastor David. I don't care. When it's my turn, I go up. If God does not introduce you, all the talk is waste. So years ago, I got rid of all those things. When I go for secular events, like yesterday, they were giving me an award. 2 of us were receiving an award from my state. The governor, everybody was there, but we couldn't go. Professor Nebogo and I, Anambra State, decided to reward 2 of their illustrious sons, and both of us sent delegate. I agree with him that he will go in the morning, so he can collect for 2 of us, but it ended up that he didn't go. When we leave here now, we'll leave here tomorrow. We're going to be flying to Uganda. We are starting another conference on Monday morning. I have 1 more sessions to do with you. I don't care what you do, what you engage with. Make sure you don't miss that tomorrow morning's event. Where is he holding? Here? Okay, here, thank God, So make sure you don't miss it, Glory, glory, glory. Because something is going to come upon you. See, there are 5 success factors. Sure, you say I should stay. Okay, let me give you something for stay. You want to be successful? 5. And then I'll give you another 5 and I'll stop. Number 1, everybody knows knowledge, 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 knowledge. You have deficiency there, bridge the gap. Bridge the gap. Do the needful. Even God has refused to bless ignorance. In Hosea 4 verse 6, he said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. But if you now reject knowledge, I'll reject you from being a priest. I can't use you. God does not bless ignorance. Solve that problem. That's what trainings like this and other trainings that are value added can do for you. And then, of course, reading and a couple of other things. Number 2 is character, character, character. Integrity, integrity, integrity. Yeah. Knowledge is very important in the success equation, but character is extremely important. Let me just go. Number 3, people, relationships, networks. Build your social capital. For example, if you just have 2,000 young people here, you can double because senators are sitting here. The advantage you have now is that you know them before they get to the house. Governors are sitting here. And for some of you, your husband is sitting here. And she might not yet know that you are the wife. And you might not yet know that the man is your husband. You are busy talking to God and God knows. Be nice to everybody. Don't just come into conferences like this only to gain knowledge. Come in there to gain new social networks. Come in there to expand your influence. Okay. Make sure you make at least 5 new friends before you leave here. Okay. Okay. Number 4, the supernatural advantage. Churches, like to stay on that one, ignoring the other 3. That's what is causing the frustration. The supernatural advantage. You need the supernatural. Oh, you do need it. If it's not important, why are the people ruling you joining our cults? If not important, why are world leaders members of the Illuminati and different other world organizations? If it's not important, why is the Hollywood entertainment industry? I don't need to tell you that one. Politics is decided by it. Business is decided by it. Ministry is decided by it. Every aspect of society is controlled by it. So if you don't connect with the ultimate power that made the universe, that makes all the other powers bow, you are going to have to be forced to connect with smaller powers and become a slave of fallen powers, angels that were kicked out of God's royal service. You start following rebel soldiers, and you become an outlaw in the realm of the spirit. Connect to the benevolent one that made you, that loves you, that made the universe. Don't just know him casually. Don't just know him from a distance. After all, you know your president. There's a president for this country. You know him from a distance. You see him on TV. How many contracts has that brought you? How has that added to your personal net worth? But there are people that know him closely. Those ones are enjoying the dividends. The Bible said he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So, those 4 factors changes all the equations. I didn't want to spend a lot of time there. Knowledge. Go from just general knowledge to specialized knowledge, especially professional skills. Okay, when you have the 4, there is one more thing that is extremely important. When God made human beings, he gave us a responsibility to have dominion over the earth. It's environment. Bring 2 pieces of corn from one stalk. Put one on this fine rug. Put the other one in the soil. Come back a few weeks after. The one in the soil has unlocked its potential. The one here remains the same. Actually, if you can protect it from rats, because rats will eat it very soon, and other things. But if you can protect it from rats, come 5,000 years after, it remains the same. Nothing has changed. That original one will have given birth to children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. That one corn will have turned, in 5 years, will have turned to over 100 billion pieces of corn. The reason is that, if you understand how this sowing and reaping happens. I just visited a farm in Nasarawa State before coming here. You see, harvest is no more plant and reap once in a year. There, what we learned, every 6 weeks to 8 weeks, they complete one cycle, bring a harvest, go. And they're growing everything, almost everything that ShopRite needs. They are growing specific harvest for the market. Next year, next year is for Anambra. We're going to partner with those Israeli companies that came to do that. But it's a Nigerian that brought them, and now they have set up the place, trained Nigerians for them, and they are running the place. I went with him to Israel, but he has gone ahead to translate what we saw in Israel into reality here in Nigeria. They grow everything. They grow grapes. All these grapes you are bringing from South Africa, apple, everything. They have disciplined the soil, turned into an environment suitable for those things they said that cannot grow in Nigeria. They grow all the vegetables that ShopRite need. They grow rice, grow millet, grow wheat. They found an export market, and they're growing certain things for them. They found certain things government wanted. They're growing things like rice and co to meet that one. And then they went to ShopRite, found what they needed, and said, stop bringing from South Africa. Where supply is cheaper for you here. You don't need to pay import duties, fly. So they are supplying them everything. I went into where they're growing meat, they're growing chicken, they're growing eggs, I went into just their poultry. Like this building where we are now, they were able to get like 5 buildings out of this for eggs, for poultry. 5 out of this one building. And then one building, 25,000 beds. Multiply it by 5. You know what shocked me is that 70% of the things we saw growing, they were not growing on soil. They create their own soil. Why did I tell the story about environment? About environment. About environment. You are to dominate your environment. One is to find the right environment where your potentials can be harnessed. Don't say, I must die in my mother's church. Why don't you attend your village school where your mother attended? Find a church that nurtures your potential. Attend trainings and schools that will nurture your potential. Work in companies and you can even choose a company that pay less. One offers you 70,000 and this one offers you 40. But that place where they pay you 40 will expose you to certain things that will grow you and prepare you for your next level. And you choose to go there because you actually receiving salary to attend school. After all this theoretical school where you pay school fees, there's now practical school of apprenticeship. The doctors do it. The lawyers do it. They go work in somebody's chambers for a while. Don't just get up and open a chamber. You have studied law, but you have not studied people management. And when you open a chamber, you have other people working for you, hire other lawyers, but you don't know how to manage them. So you want to start a business, but you want to work in this big company that will help you understand how to build organization and manage one. Hello. Now, these are some of the wisdom for controlling and disciplining your environment, because sometimes environment is hostile. It's not what you want it to be. The money you need is not in the soil. So what do? You guys are now young people, you are adults now. If you commit a crime now, you are qualified to go to jail. So at this age now, God will hold you accountable for your life. There are certain decisions now you can now make for yourself. All of you here now are old enough to become somebody's mother or father or mother. One of the ways you deal with environment when it's not, you dominate environment is by creating alternative systems. Stop complaining about what is not working and start learning how to create alternative systems. A talk for another day. The hospitals are not good. Either you train and go in and fix it, or build a new hospital. We don't have enough buses. When work closes, everywhere, human traffic, where they are waiting for, and there are lines waiting for transport. It's opportunity now. Start your own transport business. All the problems you are complaining about are opportunities. So sometimes environment don't give us what we want. That's why we treat the soil, add the extra phosphate, add manure, add those things to make the environment what we want it to be. You see, Owerri is hot. It's also raining in Owerri, today particularly. But I didn't see any rain falling on you now. You know why? You see how they create a roof here? You see how they put air condition here? We are now exercising dominion over the environment. Outside is dark, but I see this place bright, and you're able to see and read. You know why? We are exercising dominion over the environment. You see, this place is a system carved out of the Owerri environment. So if Owerri has certain characteristics, some of them are not conducive for your growth, carve out your own environment, design it the way you want to be able to supply you what you need. Can I hear an amen to that? For example, choose your friends. This is one of the ways you control the environment. The relationship environment is not by force now. Choose them carefully. Find Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. People that are going somewhere like you. People of value like you. Make them your friends. And you will find out that you can be inside Babylon, but Babylon is not affecting you. So when they say fake pastors, all the nonsense that's going on in these last days, but I'm living in the last days. And I'm living a Christian life. I'm first a Christian, not a preacher. I wear many hats, but my number one is I'm a Christian. You're looking for somebody who believes in Jesus, who obeys his teaching. Find me guilty. But how? I created my environment. I put myself where the corruption in the world and in the system cannot affect me, so that I can be the salt I'm meant to be. So anytime I show up in the system, I'm adding salt. I'm bringing value. I'm bringing value. The kind of friends I keep are all people of values. You cannot misbehave in our team. You can't. Because we hold each other. We have covenant of accountability among ourselves to hold ourselves to very high standards. You can't. Noah lived in a corrupt age, and he made it in the rapture, if that's putting it symbolically. He was inside that ark. Everybody died in the water. Just because a generation is drowning does not mean you should drown. Everybody's doing it. No, everybody's not doing it, my friends. There are godly men and women in this age, or I'm meeting them as I go. Elijah thought he was the, God said, don't, my friend, I have 7,000 men that have not kissed Baal. Xenophon there, they told him, pick your successor. His name is Elisha. He's even a farmer, a businessman, employed with 12 youths. Go put mantle on him. That's one of the people that have not compromised. He's going to replace you. Okay. So, in business, understanding environment matters, because there are a lot of things in environments. Just like you can have the manures you need to grow your business, you can also have other factors that are. So, environmental scan and understanding your environment is very important. Then understanding how to dominate the environment or rise above. And for those of you that God will use in these last days, if you're going to change a city, if you're going to change a generation, you must rise above it. You must not be caught up in his webs and the corruptions that are in it. You must do what Daniel did. Daniel proposed in his heart, I think Daniel 1:8, that he will not defy himself with all of this mess going on in Babylon. And then you create a system around you to support your values, to protect those values. For example, you cannot make a value to be living godly and holy, sexually pure, and be moving around with people that are immoral. Because evil communication corrupts good moral. If you make one of your values is to achieve academic excellence, you want to be among the best students that your school will produce, find the best 3 in your class, join their group. After you befriend them, there is something that will happen to you after a while. Follow them to read, follow them for prayer, follow them. You will understand. Because there is success by association. So how many success factors did I give you? So you see, knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. Character, character, character. Relationships, relationships, relationships. Social capital. Then I talked about the supernatural advantage. It's a leverage. It's a leverage where you bring it in. And then the power of environment and knowing how to navigate it. I want to start a business and there are existing laws and regulations creating problems. You have to understand that. You don't just and know. Okay. Let me give you the other 5 things I promise, and then I'll be out. The 5 levels of career growth or development. 5 levels. Let me see how much time I have, what I will be able to show you there. 5 levels. Level 1. Meanwhile, before I say this, I want to say here, especially for those of you from the southeast Nigeria, if you get these 3 things right, you will do well. You will succeed. What I was talking about yesterday, I said prosperity is a trinity. At the personal level, the trinity is defined by 3 John 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper. That's finance. And be in health. That's physical. Even as your soul prospers. So, this is the trinity they drew there. Apostle John did that. He said, the soul is the starting point. If you develop yourself, then also keep your body healthy. Because this will produce a healthy body. The other 3rd element of the triangle will now be what you do and the outcome of that, your career and vocation to create a living, financial prosperity. But he said all the other 2 will depend on how your soul prospers. So if you go inward, you see your spirit, then you see your on which communism was built on. That's Karl Marx theory. If just advanced economic growth, everybody will be fine in the society. You are joking. What you have forgotten is that the fundamental thing that makes society good or bad is not the bad roads or the good roads, it's the quality of human beings that live there. Who kidnap people in Nigeria? Our flyovers, the hospitals. Who rob people in Nigeria? The electric poles. Who poison people? Who do human ritual? Who steal our money? So, you see, national development is primarily 2 things. One is human capital development. The other is now infrastructure or development, dominating the environment and developing it. You know, but what people think is if you just think about those things, everything will be fine. The greatest joke of the century and others can begin. They begin with the mind. So, but none of them can achieve the heart. The heart of the human problem, the problem of the human heart. Evil is present in the human heart. That's that God, the church. Spiritual and moral formation. Form the image of God in people. Make everybody like God. Make them compassionate. Make them people of integrity. Make them kind. Make them generous. Make them tolerant. Make them humble. You see, government cannot legislate humility. They want it, but they can't create it. This is what some of you should make your lifetime vocation. Why some are treating the body, doctors. Others are taking care of cases, lawyers. Others are treating our cars. Make engineers, Some of you should be treating human beings. Because after all the other ones have done their job, and the principal job is not done, we're in a big problem as a nation. That's why we are here. So the first is the image. And if it's done right, that's why today's church is losing its mission. They don't understand what it is anymore and how to do it. Many pastors have gone off. But that assignment is the greatest assignment, the greatest vocation in every social setting. To join God in the making of human beings. Then right after that is to make them in our likeness. This is now, the first one is spiritual formation, moral formation, to produce good people, trustworthy people, reliable people. The second one now, the likeness, is to produce intelligent, skilled, and capable people. That's where education comes in. It's intellectual, emotional, and professional development. That's part of why you will notice that here, we don't just come here to tell you only of spiritual things and all moral things. But that's also why we bring in some sessions to take care of that. So that you can create people that are competent, who can get the job done, who can solve problems, who can deliver results. Yesterday in the rally, I asked the question, which one is more important? To have a very good man, but he cannot do the job. He's illiterate, he's incompetent. But he's good. He can't see your money. He's very honest. He is very kind. But he can't do the job. Or to get a very competent person, very intelligent, well-trained, well-educated, but extremely corrupt and evil. That second one is the description of Lucifer, Satan. He's not a fool. He's a very intelligent person. He said he was even wiser than other creatures that God made. But he is evil today. He wasn't evil when he was made, but he became corrupt. And now he is the greatest problem, because we have a smooth criminal. We have an intelligent criminal. We have a skillful criminal loose in the society. And being a spirit being, police can't arrest him. FBI can't track him. SAS can't catch him. Guns don't kill him. And he's wreaking havoc everywhere. And recruiting young people everywhere. And because he's very intelligent, he knows what people want. And he uses it. Sex, women, power, money. And he's luring millions of young people and destroying them. Which one is better? God said, I don't want this or that. You have to have both if you're going to create success, if you're going to create dominion. I want it to be godly. I want it to be good. I want it to be ethical. I want it to be morally sound. I want it to be an honest person. I want it to be trustworthy. But I want it to be competent. I want it to be educated. I want it to be intelligent. I want it to be knowledgeable. I want it to be competent, a skill. Give him the job, he will deliver. And that's the kind of man I trust. So this is the work you have to do on yourself. Maybe you go to church and you sleep in church every day. That is not enough to get you out of the hook. Maybe you're only good for heaven and useless for earth. They said over 90% of Nigerian graduates are unemployable. It's time to stop that mess. If you are a child of God, you cannot be competent. You are disgracing your redemption. Jesus didn't just come around preaching. He first practiced a profession. He was a carpenter. Actually, maybe the word carpenter is what is making you. No, the guy was into interior decor furnitures and. Do you know that sometimes finishing a building costs as much as constructing it? And sometimes more. Somebody said he was a bivocational preacher. But things grew to a point where he finally left the lower one to focus on molding human beings, serving human beings, grooming human beings. That's my profession, human beings are my business. That's the profession the Almighty God does. Let us make man. While some others are to build flyovers, build road, I want to build the quality of human beings that will live in that society. So here in Southeast, and I'm advocating this thing going on in Anambra and Aba, little children, primary school, they jump into the market. It needs to be banned. And it happens. They should arrest the parents. They shouldn't treat them too much punishment, but just small penalties to encourage people to let them get education. Maybe at least secondary school, minimum, graduate, then you can go. The truth is that it should be at least, even if it's one level in tertiary education, even if it's OND or whatever. That's why the frustration, you are not going to have dominion that way. You don't fly as an eagle with one wing. You need the image, you need character, but you need competence. You need knowledge, you need skill, you need wisdom. With that you can balance. If you give the Southeast people this balanced development, they will move to level 3, which is dominion. If you give the Nigerian youth this balanced development, they will move to level 3. They will become success. And even if you are moving abroad, the countries will be glad to have you. You don't export liabilities to other people. Morally bankrupt youths or incompetent youths. You don't export ignorance unless you are traveling to go and brush off yourself, get further education. So, see what I've recommended for you. Moral competence and stamina. Number 1, as foundation. Of course, plus the fact that there should be salvation there. Number 2, knowledge and wisdom. Professional competence is what I'm recommending for you as number 2. And number 3 is wealth creation capacity. Number 3. You see, is leadership and wealth creation abilities. Either you go through entrepreneurship route or you go through professionalism. Don't just walk. You just walk anyhow. That leads me to 5 levels of growth in whatever vocation. If you're a preacher, if you're a professional, if you're a career person, if you're a business, there are 5 levels. Level 1. Unskilled labor. And millions of people, millions of our young people are trapped there. That's why I'm recommending that in Abia State, Anambra State, you need to stop this child labor thing we are doing in the name of sending them into markets and all that. Let those children go through school, and then they can go and pursue whatever business they want to do. I'm not against business. Unskilled labor. What is creating that? Lack of human capital development. Is human resource, the greatest resource on earth, but it remains raw material when it's not developed. Unskilled labor, and they fill our churches. Unskilled labor, they fill the markets. Unskilled labor. Have you ever gone to Obomanu joints? We can get anybody cleaner, whatever. Roadside mechanics. If you bring some of these modern cars, high tech, when they finish handling it, your car will develop all the problems that was not there before. Quack doctors, quack lawyers, fake pastors, they are now on the increase. When you stand in the presence of a real man of God, it's a difference. I saw them, I saw your mother's side, I saw this. What is see? When are you going to be tired of that nonsense? And get yourself in a place where you can grow up. Unskilled level. 90% of our graduates are unemployed. So even now we have what takes up, and that is the home of poverty, especially extreme poverty, is that place. These are resources that are not developed. When human resource is passed through development, capacity building, education, they exit that place and become human capital. So this is the home of poverty. This is the problem of Africa. And what is the bridge out of that place? Education. Combined with redemption. There are all 2 types of education. Educating the human spirit and educating his intellect and emotion and developing the total man. But here is the point. Here is the issue. Now we have millions of young people again that have gone through school, graduated, and are still part of unskilled level. Give them a letter to write. If you see the English and the grammar, give them a job to do. It's graduate of computer science. So give her something to type in the computer. Give her just one small assignment. Why? Because what is going on now, people are sleeping their way through to graduation. People are paying their way through to graduation. Those that join campus courtesans are using intimidation, gun and whatever to intimidate lecturers to give them what they want. They have found different ways of using coercive power to achieve the end, but at the end of the day, they don't really get to the end. Bottom power, money power. So at the end of the day, you are a quack doctor, but you're answering doctor. And people are dying in your hospital. You are a quack. And you can only go so far. Somewhere along there is going to catch up. You were a quack pastor. You didn't go through any development. God called me. So what? The most important professional, God called me. You rush into it. You start lying and manipulating people with the name of God. So God called me to be a doctor. I can just go and open up a hospital. God called me to be a pilot, so I can enter cockpit and start flying aircraft. And what is sad, how people go and sit in such aircraft and let somebody crash your destiny. That's the home of poverty and frustration. The way out of that place is go and develop your resource and turn it to a capital, turn it to a bankable asset, turn it to a sportable asset, turn it to an employable asset, turn it to value. Become a living breed. You go there, you come out, you can grow anything anywhere. You can imagine churning harvest in a very hot place like Nasarawa State. Very hot. The condition create green and they're growing the thing every minimum is 4 times in a year. He said dry season that they don't have it dry season even when they harvest the most. So you see, whichever field you have to go and get. Okay, so level 2 is professional skills. Some people use the word vocational skills. Now, you move to this level, you can get a job. You have acquired professional skills, knowledge that is needed in the marketplace. You get a job, a good job. So as a doctor, somebody will employ you. Lawyer, a chamber will hire you. You groom yourself well. Some good churches would like to have you as a pastor. A man who gets professional skills will surely get a job and he will get a good pay. And that will exit him out of poverty. And he will move into a realm of just enough. He can meet his needs. He can pay his bills. He can marry. He can raise his children. And as you upgrade your skills, you also advance yourself in that area. So there are levels of growth even within that space. There are high income level earners. There are people that are just earning at the bottom line. It all depends on the level of value you bring to the table, the quality of problems you can solve, and so on. And I'm sure Prof talked to you about future-ready skills. The days are here now. They are just, it's no more hiring you for how many books you crammed and wrote one exam, collected 2-1. It's now about what problems you can solve, what value you are bringing on the table. Okay. And so we have a group of young people that have gotten jobs, are doing well, and they're all at this level. If you want to grow beyond that, because God wants you to have dominion, you have started the journey if you move to this, but that's not where dominion is found. There is a third level, is to grow to develop managerial skills. Not just job skills. What happens now is that you learn how to run the whole organization. You learn how to lead others. You learn how to manage other resources, human resources like you. You learn how to manage other resources beyond human beings. And so what happens is that the owners of the organizations, the owners of the institutions will now entrust you with their whole organization. And so they move you to a place where your colleagues are not. And they pay you, and sometimes 3 times what the colleagues have. Actually, you even sit where you are helping to decide the fate of others. I think I need to explain something to you. 2 doctors get a job at the teaching hospital. And they are good doctors, doing operation, doing whatever it is. Because medicine, when you graduate, all you have is a technical skill, a job skill. You're not different from a mechanic. The difference is that you are working on human body, somebody is working on a car. You're not even different from a professional carpenter. You might think because it's medicine, doctor. No. You can be a doctor in anything. You can be a doctor of education, somebody that has doctorate in knowledge. You only have an area of knowledge. There is even nothing like doctor of medicine. You might have your doctorate in gynecology, an aspect of medicine, while another person has his own doctorate in dentistry. So don't let that get into your head. You are just a technician. All you have is vocational skill like every other person. You're a good pastor, you can preach. All you have is vocational skill. Don't let it get into your head. You are just a preaching technician. That's what a pilot has. It's the same skill in his own field. That's making him fly aircraft. So when pilot comes to your church, he sits down, you fly him through the service. When you get to his church, you sit at the back, he flies you through your journey. But what is going to separate those 2 doctors is that if this one develops additional skill beyond his professional skill, beyond the technical, the job skill that he has to treat people, and grows management skill, what will happen now? He moves to a new level where he is the one helping to employ, maybe manage other doctors. At that time, other doctors now answer him, sir. Part of his details might have power to hire and fire. Part of his details might be the one that give you query. You are now a doctor. If you say, but I came to this hospital before you, who is talking about when you came? We're talking about what you can do. There is organizational skills. There are people skills. That's what makes a manager. There are leadership skills beyond professional skills. There are visionary skills. There are communication skills beyond just being able to do the job. Okay. 3 major skills makes a manager. Number 1. Number 1. Technical skill. And that is really needed or highly needed at the entry level of management. Supervisors, cell leaders, departmental heads. At that level, technical skill is still important because the people, the team you lead and the department you lead also need to see that our leader can also do this. So you inspire your people. But then, after that, is people skills. As you grow in management, you get to a level where technical skill is not important. There are doctors, they don't do operation, they don't treat, they don't do anything. They only run the hospital. Other doctors now do it. So at the beginning stage, you need to be able to do that, to grow into. That's why when you get a job and you're working in a place, don't just stop at being able to count money in the counter in a bank. Make friends with HR. Make friends with other departments that are decided, that are running that organization, that are paying you at the end of the month, that give you credit. Make friends with management. Tell them, I'm so grateful that I met you in this bank. I'm your protege. I want to be under you for mentorship. And sir, you really inspire me and all that. Please, sir, can you accept me as your protege and take me through? There are meetings that are held. You are not invited because you are staff. But they are in management. There are 10 boardroom meetings. Where your faith is decided, they will tell you. This is what you should do. Put this one. Put this together. See. Management is worried about you. They need to groom you out of staff level to management level. You need to groom yourself out of staff level to management level. If your organization you work in a place where they have such opportunities, they send you for training abroad, they send you to different, take it. Don't play with it because you will stay there working and be earning just enough. You need to move to more than enough level of income, where you have excess after meeting needs, so you can drive a vision. And if you're in the kingdom, you need to have that so you can finance the kingdom. When they're raising funds, they need to build children's school, need to build it. You say, Lord, I really want to, but look at me. Well, stop complaining and do something about the level of problem, the quality of problem you solve, and the level of value you bring to the table. Hello. I'm trying to challenge you. I'm not angry at you. When coach. So when we bring you to the field to train you for world championship, it's not smiling time. We want you to become Maradona, better than him. Because you're going to play with AC Barcelona, you're going to play with Chelsea. So we're not prepare you to play with Nike Club. That's what we're grooming you guys to become global leaders. Because the world has changed. You're not just competing with the girls and boys now. You're going to be playing on the world stage with all these Chinese boys and Jewish boys and all these Indian guys that are tech gurus. Those are the kind of people you're going to be competing with for meager resources of the earth. That's why every time they talk about downsizing the world population, the first place they think about is Africa. And we only know how to make babies. But to train them and give them education, we don't know how to. That era has ended. When the world sit to think about liability on earth, they think about you only eating food. That era has ended. We're going to be sitting in those tables when they're discussing population control. We put our own. We need to reduce the population of whites. You guys are becoming drug addicts. I did a project in New York this year. People in the street, drug addicts. And you see the man, see a girl. They are sleeping in the street. Over 10,000. And what shocked me, I thought majority of the people I would meet were blacks. Majority were whites. Next year, let's go back to this career thing. Okay, since my time is up, let me see if I can give you one more. So, there are 3 skills that make a manager. First, at the beginning stage, professional job skills, all of that. Technical skills. Because you're going to lead people, you need to also show that you can do it. So that when you start leading, nobody can confuse you. You need to go through the line. Second is people skills. The ability to manage people. The ability to manage conflicts. relationship skills, the ability to inspire people, the ability to motivate people, the ability to unlock other people's potentials, the ability to identify talents and attract them, the ability to groom other people, to mentor, to coach, to empower and train other people. When you learn that skill that makes human beings now your business, you graduate where you don't have to do the job. You now manage the people that do the job. So management is now getting the job done through people. You are no more kadeke kebos tuti share. I will interpret that tongue. I'm controlling my Pentecostal excesses because I'm speaking to the nation and including Muslims. You think you're the only ones I'm talking to. I'm speaking to Nigeria. Hello, how are you? So you move from being a player to a coach. I know some of you like playing the ball so much that you can't graduate. Then, to move you to the highest level of management, you need to develop conceptual skills. Maybe I wish DC pastors are here so they can hear me say this. Pastor Knobs, that's the difference. Why I can be at home and I'm not a national youth or in any program. And you guys are there, but I'm the one running the program from behind. They finish in the evening, I give them direction what happens the next day. The reason is there is a skill. The gaze. One of the conceptual skills is vision. One of the conceptual skills is strategy. Not just that we have seen where we are going, because if you stop seeing the future, you stop the people from moving. All you'll be doing is maintaining the status quo. One of the conceptual skills is strategy. Now we've said we're going there. How do we go from here to there? So when you go to the boardroom, the highest level of management or leadership, for example, the board, and then you get to where the CEO meets with the top management or the MD meets with them. These are some of the issues that are bothering them. So you assume that you driving the truck, you counting money in the bank, they just pay me 70,000 and 800, and these guys go home with millions. That meanwhile we are the ones doing the work, monkey the work, baboon the chop. No, smart work is far superior than hard work. Working with your head, working with your mind, is far advanced than working with your hands. The one who works with his upstairs will rule over the ones who works with his hands. The one who works well with his hand will get the job, but the one who works with his mind will be his boss. Do you see how to go to dominion? Part of conceptual skill is problem solving skills. Part of it is analytical skills, analytical thinking, and even strategic thinking. You see this Dr. Fine, this program ends, all of you will go home. So nice, national youth. He will give me a week to rest. Next day he comes. That's how he operates. Say, DP, this one, we didn't get it. This one, because he has training that the question will scale to assess, measure performance, measure. That's what I'm talking about. Those things move you to the next level. Because sometimes, as a leader, I sit down and I wonder, why is it that our pastors can't preempt this thing? Why is it that they can't see this? And when I call them and talk, they don't even see that there's any problem. Because sometimes the guy is busy enjoying his technical skill as a preacher. I will come from my place and show him we need to buy this land. Why is it that he's in the city? He's not seeing when the city is moving. That the church needs to move. We need to buy the land ahead like the Catholic Church. Then the city comes to meet them. You put a whatever ahead. Why is it that they are not thinking? Why is it that they are maintenance? You can be a leader that way. Why is it that the foresight is missing? Foresight is why we are doing this project we are doing for you. We've seen where the world is going. We've seen how Africa is lagging behind. And we've seen the bulging population of African youths. And we've seen the problem that is waiting for our countries if something does not happen. And we can see that government cannot see. We've seen that these same African youth will have to be put in the same platform to compete with these kids, which kids from around the world. We've missed the first industrial revolution, missed the second, we want to miss, God forbid. The world is moving toward the fourth major industrial revolution. At least let us play a major role in this one and be among the leaders. Thank God that many of you are getting the opportunity to hear this early. That's why I greeted you, In my eyes, you look so young and pretty. But it might be deception, sometimes look can be deceptive. But you look it. You look it. It's early. First lady on the making. This girl. Oh, there is one level beyond that. When you get a job, you work for somebody. When you become a manager, you work with somebody. You can be trusted to be brought to the decision table and have access to one of the most powerful things in an organization, information, and be involved in decision making. And actually, when we were talking, I think it was in the morning session where I was talking about servant leadership. In servant leadership, you seek input from stakeholders and make sure they're involved in decision making. And that smoothens your leadership and make things easier for you. But many organizations don't do that. They don't consult you. But now you can sit at the dining table and your earning power jumps, skyrockets. But then, after you have been and understood how to run organization, how to run systems, how to deploy systems, there is one more level. It is where you step out to own your own organization. Create another institution that can now help create jobs. Decide. Some of you jump to that place too early. That's the problem. Graduate from school, jump. You have started one thing. Because you just came out of law school, you start law chambers. Who is going to come to hire you? Other people who don't have much to do. People like me, I don't have time for you. Because a bad lawyer will lose a good case. Meanwhile, a good lawyer can win a bad case. One of the youngest sons that we have, senior advocates have in this country, he was groomed under me. When they finish all this, whatever, I want to go. No, sir. Sir, don't bother. Forget about rushing after this money thing. Some chambers in this country that have groomed world champion lawyers. Go there and go and work. He went to Chief Williams' chambers. Work. Distinguished himself and was invited to the black table. When he told me now, I'm now inducted into the member, I said, is there any other thing behind it? He said, no, don't worry, it's not all courts. But any member of this, when we arrive in court, you know that case is a done deal. And when he finished at that level, he came out, started his chamber, few whatever, he's already a son. I said, now, all the money you need now are coming. Political cases, where they pay you 200 million for one case, 350 million for one case. Sort this governor out, and they will go there and turn that in. Sort this presidential election case out. Why his colleagues are still quack lawyers running around looking for charge and bail cases. Did police arrest you? Yes, okay, brief. 5,000 will come bear you. At this level, two things you do. One is to start your own organization. You have learned the rope. You have climbed the ladder. Launch your own business. Launch your own. Or you now negotiate a way of working with your existing organization, where you now work with your organization, not for your organization. You become a partner. You remember some of those guys that work with Big Gate at the beginning of Microsoft, all of them have shares in Microsoft. And you see, it's better to be the leg of an elephant than to be the head of an ant. It's better to be the leg of an elephant than to be the whole of a rabbit. So it's not just about, I started my own, whatever, that is the point. You're part of a winning team, a winning organization. You can now. And this is the reason why in Dominus we chose not to pay. We don't want to keep people. We want them, as they gain knowledge, to be able to also grow into higher level. That percentage thing we did is that we gave every pastor here a shareholding in the system. And so you can be anything you want. You see, this one ministry, if you want to go on TV, Geo is not on TV. I'm even pushing. Look at Pastor Shola. I've been begging him for the last 2 years, but now I'm going to force them. If you want to start building a university, free. If you want to be doing Night of Glory in all the countries on earth, free. If you want to build secondary school, free. What is it that Geo is enjoying you cannot do? You are allowed to do all of them. So now, you can have national youth in Imo State that won't show up. Nothing will be missing. It's just, that presence of a father, that a father is sitting in the house, coach is looking at, nothing will be missing. There are guys more dangerous than me here. So the Lord has taught me a secret. Sit down at my right hand while I make your enemies your footstool. You don't have to be in the battle anymore. But you fought so that your men have learned how to kill Goliaths. Now they can kill Goliaths. So that's what I'm recommending to you. Don't build an aquarium. If you build an organization, build an ocean where everybody can grow to their size as shark, as whales. Don't build an organization that serves only one man's interest. Build an organization that serves the common good and corporate interest. Leaders that do that must learn how to die at a point. The pioneer spirit must give way sometimes so it can allow professionalism and some others. You got that? Yeah? You got it? So you see what we're doing with some of these are small boys that have nothing in secondary school. We're pushing into to start shops. They're pushing little kids, primary school kids, to go and start families. Now a baby is carrying a baby. And he's robbed of his child because he hasn't grown and developed. Finally, my time is completely up. Thank you. Finally, there's one more skill. When you succeed, you learn business skills, entrepreneurial skills, organizational development, and even how to run organizational leadership. You can build any world-class organization. I'm not just talking about pioneering things. You know, it's there are 5 steps in developing that, but that's a different talk. Anyway, there's one more level in growth. It is to cultivate transformational skills. At this level, it's no more about me succeeding. It's no more about me making money. It's about what I can do to go and impact my society and my world. Truly, 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 this is the stage where you can go into public service, like politics. You don't go to politics to make money. You finish making money. You must have succeeded in one institution, running one organization, one institution, living certain, and then we now come to help us manage our common good and manage our commonwealth. This is also that stage where people that have built organizations, done well, if they are business profit-making organization, and also create another organization for the purpose of giving back and solving problems for the world. They bet a foundation. Yesterday I was talking about Rockefeller. The rich man in the Bible died when he got so rich and thought that was it. That's ultimate success. No, money is not ultimate success. Success in your business is not ultimate success. It's what that business or what you and that business do for your society and your world. Then you know that you have fulfilled God's ideal for mankind. Someone like Jimmy Carter, after being president, what else? He joins a foundation, World Habitat. They're going around poor communities in Africa, different places, building houses for poor people. That's what a former president is doing. You see him in jeans with t-shirt, rollback. That's ministry. You acquire transformational skills and learn how to impact your world. Here is the secret now. You don't wait till you succeed in career to acquire that. Right from day one, now you know what it will take you to get to the height of dominion. You You start from day one to move in that direction. You don't just go study law, get an MBA, get some management skills attached to that. Take multiple skills when you go into your profession. They might be paying you for this for a start, or you're just there to gain exposure, gain experience, but you have more things you can bring to the table. And you're going to make your journey much faster than others. God bless you and cause his favor to rest upon you. Cause you to reach the peak of what he has planned for you. Cause that you are not going to stop halfway or get grounded halfway. You will go all the way to the top. Because that's the covenant that he has made over your head. That you are going to be the head and not the tail. That you are going to be above only. Dominion is your destination. Where you stand out in your field. I release that blessing upon you, every one of you. None of you will be ordinary. Every one of you will distinguish yourselves like Daniel, like Joseph, in your different fields. May the hand of the one that made you, the Creator himself, and the hand of the one that saved you, that died for you on the cross, and the power of the Holy Spirit combined to rest on your life, to help you in the making and the shaping of your future till you become all that God has planned for you to be. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Hallelujah. Say thank you, Daddy. Let's appreciate God for this night. Hallelujah. Wow, 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 wow. I think I do better than that. Amen. This is the Father's invitation. Praise the Lord. I told you tonight is going to be, let's thank God for tonight. Hallelujah. Let's just bless him. Father, we thank you. We give you praise. We bless your name. We thank you, Father, for all you have taught us tonight. In Jesus' precious name. Can somebody say the loudest amen? Praise the Lord. Tomorrow morning session by 8 a.m., please make sure you are here on time. Praise the Lord. And then if you haven't got your certificate, I make sure you get it tonight.